Imagine a world where one conversation could expose Hollywood's darkest secrets. One call that might change everything.
Attorneys for Sean Diddy Combs are fighting a lot of battles on a lot of different fronts lately and likely spent their holiday crafting motions to try to curtail the amount of legal action the disgraced music mogul is facing. But one of the strangest cases involves a Michigan prison inmate who claims that Combs raped him in the 90s. A judge had initially granted a massive $100 million judgment in his favor, but after that was overturned, Derek Cardello Smith is now pushing forward with his lawsuit, and he says he plans to call pop icon Jennifer Lopez as a witness.
In a recent jaw-dropping episode of The Joe Rogan Experience, a bombshell was dropped that has left fans and critics questioning everything they thought they knew about celebrity alliances.
The P. Diddy thing sounds like just complete unchecked depravity. Like, I don't even think he was gay. He was just fucking guys.
But
maybe he's gay, but it seems like he's just
I think you have to be a
depraved.
little gay. Because then he would just be
for sure, at least for like 10 minutes.
he's at least bi.
Well, I mean, it might just be whatever drugs are taken. Like, I don't understand it. When that whole, like, I think I had peripherally heard that P. Diddy had big parties, but I never heard of freak-offs or any, I never heard of that stuff until pretty recently, like post-pandemic.
The conversations weren't just about politics, science, or pop culture. They were a deep dive into the intertwined lives of some of the biggest names in the industry.
Coming from...
At the center of it all, Elon Musk and Joe Rogan took aim at a story that goes far beyond catchy hits and red carpet Jennifer Lopez's silence regarding Sean Diddy Combs, an icon now facing charges from sex trafficking and racketeering to transporting individuals for prostitution. And that's only the beginning. Elon Musk, the controversial CEO of Tesla and SpaceX, didn't mince words. During the podcast, he lambasted Lopez for not warning anyone about Diddy's alleged misdeeds, a side of the mogul that the music world may have known all too well but chose to ignore. Secrets have been buried beneath layers of glitz and success.
Just as the coverage started to subside, West flipped the script on his X page. So his page has since been removed, and I'll get more on that in a moment, but screenshots of his tweets show he posted in all caps, "Free Puff." He then went on to post or tweet, "All these celebrity N-words and B-words is scared. Y'all will watch our brother rot and never say S." He went on to post, "I stood up for Puff and I'm still winning 20 Grammys next year and doing the Super Bowl." He also tweeted that, or posted that slavery is a choice, which of course got some backlash from other X users. But West seemed to double down as his rant continued with, "What you all gonna do? Cancel my sneaker deal? Cancel my record deal? Freeze my accounts? F y'all N-words. Slavery is a choice. I am speaking my mind now. I ain't editing. S again ever." And he later tweeted, "This man gave his life to us. This is my idol. This is my hero," seemingly referencing Sean Combs.
The narrative takes a sharp turn when we consider the allegations against Diddy himself. Once celebrated as a pioneer in the music industry, Diddy now stands accused of some of the most serious crimes imaginable.
Quote, "Defendant Combs sexually assaulted a 17-year-old minor male while at a popular nightclub in New York City. This case seeks compensatory and punitive damages for that sexual assault. The assault occurred in Soho, New York, after Doe was drugged and taken to a private area of a nightclub by Combs' associates. The conduct described herein is shockingly typical of how defendant Sean Combs conducted himself for many years. Many individuals and entities facilitated and conspired with this abhorrent conduct. Sean Combs believed he was above the law. He is not." Now, quite the way to start a lawsuit, right? Now, I will tell you, though, it is very characteristic of the lawsuits that have been filed by the attorney behind this one. I'm talking about Tony Busby, that Texas attorney who apparently represents several Combs accusers.
So where does Jennifer Lopez come into play? Once romantically linked to Diddy from 1999 to 2001, Lopez now finds her past connection with the mogul thrust into the spotlight.
Having launched a successful career as a dancer and then later an actor, J-Lo, however, had her eyes set on becoming a singer, And instead of taking the usual path into the music industry, J-Lo decided to take a different approach, choosing instead to align herself with Combs. Combs decided he would take from other artists, employ dirty, underhanded tactics, and use his power, money, and prominence in the music industry to make J-Lo's dreams of becoming a successful singer come true. So Combs, along with another powerful music executive, made sure that J-Lo became a star. And in return, Sean Combs received J-Lo's loyalty, support, and most importantly, her silence.
Despite her impressive career and her recent outspoken political stances, including a fiery appearance at a campaign rally where she lambasted Donald Trump, Lopez has remained conspicuously silent on Diddy's arrest and the allegations swirling around him.
Her opponent, on the other hand, doesn't see it that way. He has consistently worked to divide us. At Madison Square Garden, he reminded us who he really is and how he really feels. It wasn't just Puerto Ricans that were offended that day, okay? It was every Latino in this country. It was humanity and anyone of decent character.
Some argue that her silence is a calculated move, a deliberate attempt to distance herself from a scandal that could damage her hard-earned reputation. Others suggest she may not be fully aware of the gravity of what has been revealed.
If you're attending P. Diddy's parties, I think Ashton Kutcher in one feed was saying, yeah, his parties. Oh, let me tell you about them. Let me think about them. They're wild. Guilty by association. Nobody wants to touch that with a 10-foot pole if you're a celebrity.
And to be clear, not guilty in a court of law, like
No,
because
of
you
course
can go to
not.
a party and not commit a crime.
Right.
You just were around it. And the question was it an open secret?
But you're guilty by association
Right.
in the court of public opinion,
Correct.
right? Yeah. If it comes out that you were attending his parties, everyone's naturally going to think, what were you doing at that party? What was your involvement? Were you involved in the freak-offs? Did you engage in it? It would be a PR nightmare.
Either way, the burning question remains: should someone with her influence have spoken up when it mattered most?
I would advise her to speak with the SDNY. I would say
you
if
would?
you had any information, talk to them and provide it to them, because the most important thing is justice for the people that were wronged in the situation. And then I would say follow their lead. And the prosecutors at the SDNY may tell her, look, we don't want you to make any statements in the media at all about anything you observed, what happened with P. Diddy, your relationship, because again, that would be cannon fodder for cross-examination. Stay away from that. And when we go to trial, make your statement on the stand.
The podcast conversation only deepened the intrigue. While dissecting Diddy's notorious freak parties in Los Angeles, a term that barely hints at the wild rumors surrounding those events, Rogan and Musk made some other shocking observations in that now in a characteristically provocative moment, Rogan speculated about Diddy's infamous parties, suggesting that his rumored encounters with male celebrities weren't about sexual orientation at all, but rather a calculated power move.
It's horrific, but it's also hilarious that it was like the big secret that P. Diddy would make a bunch of these guys suck his dick and do weird shit. Oh, do you think the government does it? Well, P. Diddy does it.
Homes in LA and Miami raided by federal agents.
Dude, the conspiracies of P. Diddy are like, you know, that as above, so below, that like magical shit the rocket scientists say when they jerk off and look in each other's eye.
What?
As if that weren't enough, whispers of an even stranger claim began to surface. Rumors emerged that Diddy might be connected to a bizarre incident involving Jamie Foxx, a claim that Foxx once hinted at during a Netflix special taping.
Jamie Foxx addresses whether Diddy was responsible for his 2023 hospitalization during live shows Eyewitness. Rob, if you got a clip, play this clip. He's not really saying it here. When I watch this, he's not saying it.
PBD. This is just them saying what we know. But the clip that I sent Rob is of what was his name, Robbie? Big homie CC. PBD.
Good guy, big homie CC.
Yeah, because so bad. You know what's going on. So let me
read the story and I'll come to you
it.
because I thought it was a video. There.
Yeah.
During the tapings of his upcoming Netflix special, what had happened was Jamie Foxx reportedly stated Diddy was responsible for what happened to him, and Foxx is the one who called the FBI on Combs.
According to some eyewitnesses, Foxx alluded to being poisoned by Diddy, an allegation that many quickly dismissed as a joke.
Jamie Foxx took multiple shots at his old friend P. Diddy during his new Netflix stand-up special, What Happened Was.
The internet said that Puffy tried to kill me. That's what the internet was saying. I know what you're thinking. Did he? Hell no, nigga. I left them parties early. I was out by 9 because something don't look right. It's slippery in here.
Many people were excited to hear what Jamie Foxx would reveal about the Diddy saga on stage, but some are equally skeptical as to why he would not call out Diddy earlier.
Still, the very mention of such an accusation underscores the unpredictable and chaotic nature of Diddy's public persona. Yet another layer to the puzzle, forcing us to ask, in a world where every celebrity word is dissected, can any comment really be taken at face value?
Can you tell me now, is there evidence against any major celebrities that you have, and is there anyone that you can name at this moment?
I'm not going to name anybody right now, but I do have evidence.
Have you had a chance to actually see any videos or text messages or other kind of correspondence that kind of corroborate these stories?
All of the above, yes. And not for all 120 clients. I asked for corroboration. What texts, video, pictures, give me dates, venues, give me witnesses. And we do that, we go through that process. And that's what we're doing.
In this high-stakes arena, fame is indeed a fickle friend. 1 minute, an individual is celebrated for innovation, style, and success. The next, they find themselves entangled in controversies that threaten to erase their legacy. For Diddy, the stakes have never been higher. With a trial looming in 2025, every word, every association, and every past indiscretion is now under a relentless microscope.
Hip-hop mogul Sean Combs is set to appear in court in May on federal sex trafficking charges. The news came out of a Thursday court hearing. Combs pleaded not guilty last month to charges he abused and exploited multiple victims, some of the allegations dating back years. CBS News New York's Alice Gaynor has more from outside the courthouse.
Sean Diddy Combs' 6 children and his mother sat in the second row of the gallery. When the 54-year-old entered the courtroom, he was wearing a wrinkled tan shirt and matching pants. He smiled and waved at them, a seemingly more upbeat attitude. The judge, newly assigned to the case after the previous judge recused himself, set a May 5th, 2025 trial date. Prosecutors have until December 31st to turn over discovery to the defense. They said over the course of 3 searches of an airport and Combs' LA and Miami residences, they seized 96 electronic devices and several more during and after his arrest.
The question is no longer merely about guilt or innocence. It's about the systemic failures that allow powerful figures to operate unchecked for far too long.
I'm a victim. I'm a product, I should say, of these systems that we all survive in, which is, this sort of capitalist-driven, corporatocracy kind of driven way of merchandising and commercializing every thought and fear and moment that we have in our lives, and never giving us a chance to slow down.
What ties all these threads together is a profound sense of betrayal. The institutions that once celebrated these celebrities now appear complicit in a system where influence and image often override accountability. Elon Musk's blistering critique and Joe Rogan's unfiltered observations are more than just provocative sound bites. They're a call for transparency in an industry that thrives on secrets and selective silence. Bombshell dropped by Joe Rogan and the biting commentary from Elon Musk force us to confront uncomfortable truths about Hollywood, power, and the price of fame. With every passing day, the layers of this scandal grow deeper, revealing a web of personal relationships, political endorsements. As the trial date approaches and more details emerge, the answers to these questions may very well redefine the entire landscape of celebrity accountability.
So yesterday, Diddy filed a lawsuit against NBC Universal, Peacock, and Amble LLC for defamation or defamatory statements. So he's saying that when they did that whole Diddy, the Making of a Bad Boy documentary that we talked about in here, that a lot of the claims and the things that they were accusing him of were completely false. And he's saying he wants $100 million in damages for severe harm to his reputation, economic harm, and the defamatory statements.
Why just NBC? It's been about 5 or 6 documentaries that have come out.
I have no idea.
On top of podcasts and YouTube pages, like it's so many people with stories. Like why you just aiming at NBC?
Is Joe Rogan really unmasking the hidden truths behind Diddy's dark legacy and J-Lo's silence? Could Elon Musk's explosive take be the spark that ignites Hollywood's most explosive scandal yet? Or is it just another twist in a maze of celebrity secrets? In the end, the narrative circles back to one central question. Why did she have to know? Why did Jennifer Lopez, whose past with Diddy is now a subject of searing debate, choose silence when the stakes were so incredibly high?
In early 2000s, when J-Lo and Combs were an item, J-Lo adapted to Combs' partying lifestyle, and this went on to cause disastrous results 4 days prior to the start of the new millennium. J-Lo and Combs were arrested and taken into custody in New York, not too far from where Combs is currently locked up today. This event went on to create headline after headline, and despite Combs being charged with very serious crimes, J-Lo remained loyal and by his side. J-Lo has stayed silent all these years about the events that transpired that night, and a lot of mystery still remains today about what really happened. These same silent tactics are being employed by J-Lo in present day whenever she's confronted or asked in any way about Diddy, their relationship, what she saw, and what she knows.
This is interesting, Natanya. Rodney Jones, also known as Little Rod, is now suing Diddy for sexual harassment. That's something that's been in the headlines for the last couple of days. And there's a very interesting quote from his lawsuit that relates back to you that I want to read because it sort of ties all of this together. And it says, Jones claims in the lawsuit, Mr. Combs shared that he was responsible for the shooting in the nightclub in New York City with rapper Shine. He shared that artist and Mr. Combs' girlfriend at the time, Jennifer Lopez, aka J-Lo, carried the gun into the club for him and passed him the gun after he got into an altercation with another individual. So now you have Little Rod in this new lawsuit saying that Diddy told him that he actually was responsible. I mean, what did you think when you read that?
Well, I was incensed for a number of reasons. First and foremost, for the past quarter of a century, he's vehemently denied that he was responsible, even though I knew wholeheartedly, and as so many others who were in the club that night, we all knew he was responsible.
If you want to stay ahead of every shocking update, hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications. The truth is on the horizon, and you won't want to miss a moment of it.